There we go. Now we have audio. All right, so this is going to be Hyper Light Drifter, 99%, no major glitches. No, not newcomer. We want standard. So, what was it? RGB LAN.
RGB LAN.
42069. Yes. And like most adventures, this starts with us getting rip-roariously drunk and just waking up in the middle of nowhere for no reason whatsoever. So we start off just doing basic movement. This is slow dashes. It's called slow dashes despite how fast it is, because of something we'll get a little bit later. But slow dashes only have 3 dashes, and then you have to have like a short cooldown while you wait in between dashes. However, certain ledges, if you go right up to them, a bit like this, will give you extra dashes. We're not entirely certain why this is the case. In fact, each and every single ledge seems to have been manually programmed into this. We're taking way too much time for that to make sense, but there's like really no other explanation. In addition, we have the sword slash you saw right there. We have our dash, and we also have a gun. This is really where like Hyper Light Drifter shines, because the gun consumes ammo to shoot. In order to get that ammo back, you have to hit stuff with your sword, and the balance between those two is just absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, the number one enemy we'll see in the game is the Dirks, which are those like little green guys that like swing at you and jump at you. They're functionally completely random, and a lot of fights just kind of revolve around how they are nice to you or mean to you or whatever. For a casual player, it doesn't mean that much, but for a speedrun, when they're running away from you, that's really not great for the speed. That does make the game great though, because I mean, the number one strat for a lot of the fights is just to get good at the game, and there's really not many speedruns like that aren't randomly generated. This is a huge volume warning, by the way. You might want to turn down your headphones. I'm taking mine clean off. And as with most drunk college nights, it ends with visions of a demon and getting picked up by our roommate. By our roommate, load screen, there we go, by our roommate. So just taking a little time to describe what 99% means. You might say, why not 100%? Well, we collect all the outfits except for 2, all the bits, which are the game's currency, except for 1, all the monoliths, all the weapons, and I'm forgetting something we collect, I think. No, that is everything. Never mind, we're good. Anyway, so the reason we don't get one of the outfits is it's behind basically a 30-minute RNG auto-scroller. The other one is behind the 800 dash challenge, which if any of you have played the game casually, you know how awful that is. And here's the funny part, by the way. It's actually faster to get that cloak that we don't get. However, we decided we wanted to actually play the game, so we don't get it. There is one guy who runs 100%. His name's Covert _Muffin. I believe he has a run coming up at GDQ. Just an all-around awesome guy. Definitely recommend giving him a follow. He's also one of the absolute best players of this game. He holds most of the main category world records. So a lot of this run is actually just going to be fairly self-explanatory, with me dashing around, getting dash resets, collecting bits, etc. But I will definitely talk when I have something interesting to say. A lot of this will probably just be me concentrating, frankly. We have a little dash right here that's completely unintended. I failed it first time. There we go, easy. So you might notice those guys had 3 health, but we 2-shotted them. So if you guys have played this casually and you want to continue to play this casually, mute your streams now. This is going to change your life. You can cancel the gunshot into the sword slash. This works for every gun in the game except the lasers, which lasers sort of work, but if you use it, you'll make sense why I'm going, yeah. That right there was a monolith. Those actually hold the game story and the only written text. It doesn't look like they're written text, but they're, like, you can translate those. Read the wiki if you want. It's actually a really interesting time. But anyway, back to the combat I was talking about here. So that turns our normal, first off, 3 damage sword combo into a 6 damage sword combo. In addition, because guns consume 1 ammo, sword swings hitting consume 1 ammo, that effectively means we can do that infinitely. And we just permanently get a increase to our normal sword combo. In addition, we'll be getting weapons later in the game that do more damage. And while those do have some internal cooldowns, there is some shenaniganry we will do with that. If you guys have seen FIRS, FIR_, his run at, I think it was AGDQ a year ago, so not the past one, but the year before that. If you think those bosses are fast, you have not seen anything yet. 99% bosses are almost as fast as boss rush bosses. And boss rush, let me put it this way, the world record for boss rush in-game time is under 3 minutes, which if any of you have done boss rush and can't finish under 6 will seem amazing to you. These wolves coming up here are trash. We're just going to kill them because they will make our lives absolutely miserable coming out of this cave later. There is a trick I may or may not go for this run called dash collects. Basically, you can press dash and the interact key at the same time to collect bits and dash away from them. There is one in particular where you can skip a small cutscene with it, so I'm going to go for that. I got that one, but I missed my dash. This is a very different screen than I normally run on, and the different perspective makes some stuff difficult because I am playing mouse and keyboard, which means my character dashes to where my mouse is aiming. Get up these. All right, and then up here we get our first instance of our dog friend. We will not be petting the dog at all in this run, and I apologize profusely for that, but most of them require glitches to get to. And here we see our drifter buddy, and like he rescued us. We want to see how he is. Oh, what's that? You're looking for something you lost? Okay, yeah, that's great. We don't care. No, I don't want to keep sticky keys on. Thank you very much, game. Sorry. And then we dash away. Okay. Game is frozen. Okay, that was weird. If that looked like the game was completely frozen on stream, that was because the game was completely frozen for me. I do not get that back home. Hopefully that's not a sign of performance issues to come. This game, like these PCs are absolute beasts, but this game has some serious optimization issues, especially with certain video cards. And we haven't narrowed down exactly what those issues are because it requires more trial and error than, frankly, we have a budget for. Right here, we have our first instance of a module, and that was what I was forgetting when I was listing stuff. These are also, you could call them mandatory story triangles, also, if you like. They're mandatory for the story, as the name might imply. You only need 4 of them to complete the game. Well, sorry, 4 from each area for a total of 16. However, there are a total of 32 in each area, total in the game for a total of 8 in each area. And behind special 8 module doors are challenge dungeons, which, well, 2 of them offer good rewards. The others are just kind of there. But they're also crazy fun. If you've never actually 100%ed this game, it's kind of trash to try to 100% this game without a guide because some of the stuff is just hidden in dumb ways. But get a guide, like get a map, and 100% it. This is a little risky strat I'll go for once, and I'm dead. Oh, I'm not dead. Okay, hell yeah. And hopefully they all jump to their doom. Okay, 2 of them jump to their doom. One interesting quirk of this game, and by interesting, I mean not interesting at all, but just really frustrating, is if anything causes a hard knockdown, any additional hits, no matter what the source or what they would have done, will reset that hard knockdown. It means, if you even get a hard knockdown from bonking from a dash, which you might say, what's bonking from a dash? And we'll get to that in a second. And then you get hit, you can just get chain stunned forever. And it's all kinds of sadness. It's 100% a bug, but the devs refuse to admit it. There's no way they did that on purpose. You got a nice dash collect on that. So this one, if you don't wait for the save, this guy will not spawn and you're soft locked. You can also sometimes up warp during the cutscene for no discernible reason. Got one there. It's the only instance of the game where that happens. And we're not able to tie down why that happens, so it's not considered a major glitch. You might say it's a glitch. I'll remind you this category is no major glitches. This fight's pretty easy because everything just has a set spawn, so you just memorize where that is, and they just all kind of melt. This is our second instance of a... Okay. If you enter that, by the way, the same frame that tries to play the cutscene, then you have it set so that if I try to do a warp away, it opens the Steam menu. Yeah, do you know how to turn that off? Because that's used a lot during this game. There's a bunch of cutscenes we skip by warping away from stuff, and currently it is set. I don't know if it pops up like that on stream, but it opens like the Steam menu.
You should be in Steam, settings, preferences.
Let me just turn this off real fast. You can't see what's happening. Steam, settings. Preferences.
Setting
In game, disable, enable, and just disabling that, we don't need to change shortcut. Actually, we can test that. Nope. Okay, let's try that again. Apologies for the delay, people. This is absolutely necessary for the run. Oh, I need to hit OK. Okay, there we go. No, that didn't work. Let me just change the Steam shortcut key to something I don't use then. That's actually a way better solution. I'm sorry?
Can you restart the game?
That might work, but let's try just restarting the game and seeing if that closes it out. Otherwise, we just have to do save and quits for the cutscene, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. This does pretty much kill any chance of this run being world record, though. Oh, wait, I just save and quit. I didn't actually completely restart the game. Okay, Steam, Hyperlight Drifter, open. Yay! I apologize for the delay, people. I haven't run the game on a new PC in so long, it didn't even occur to me this might be an issue. Okay, it's not popping up here. Continue game. Thank you for whoever yelled at me to restart the game, because it seems to...
That's Bayflower over there.
All right. Anyway. So we've completed the first run of North, and now we get the ability that changes everything. This is the chain dash. This is the absolute best, bar none, ability in the entire game. We can chain our dashes together like this, which drastically increases our movement potential. If you do more than 3 in a row and hit a wall, you will bonk. If you do more than 4 in a row, you will slide if you try to stop. So we do these like sets of 2. Also considers the stamina bar, which is up there in the upper left above our health bar. That also is being used by any additional combat abilities we get, all of which are purchasable at the store. And, excuse me, let me through, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, I didn't even need that. Why did I grab that? Anyway, so yeah, so it becomes a balance of movement versus combat, etc. Because some of the combat abilities are incredibly useful. This is one of those sections of the game where it's basically just movement, grab stuff, not much to say. If I'm able to get a cup of water up here, that would be appreciated, but not strictly necessary. This game's trash. But this was the place that made me want to buy the game in the first place. The East area, as tragic as it is with like all the dead bodies lying around, is absolutely gorgeous. It has some of the best minimalistic like waterfall effects and sparkling, like those. The sparkling water effects are literally just white lines. They're doing so much with what they have when they don't have much. It's absolutely beautiful. One thing worth mentioning is there is dash bias and aim bias in this game. The game basically tries to figure out where you want to dash, where you want to aim, and then just where you're actually aiming accordingly. This game was made purely around keyboard and mouse. Oh, sorry, not keyboard and mouse. Purely around controller. So there's a lot of idiosyncrasies, thank you very much, with keyboard and mouse that would not exist for controller, and basically mess up playing with keyboard and mouse because controller existed and was the priority. An additional thing is so we mentioned dash resets earlier on the run for when we have just the normal dash. They still exist for chain dash. They will both restart a dash from the first dash, which is worth noting because A, we won't bonk/slide, but also the first 2 dashes have slightly different timing than the subsequent ones. That's like a frame perfect. Where was I? Yeah, they're slightly different timings than the subsequent ones, so it's important from just a timing standpoint. If you fat finger, or not fat finger, but rush your chain dashes, then basically just eats all your dash inputs for like multiple seconds. There's a single pixel you can bonk on in there. But additionally, you might see at some point me just dash off a ledge and look very disgusted with the game. More likely than not, that was not my fault. The dash resets are supposed to stop you at the ledge, especially if you see me dash over a ledge and then respawn at the edge of the ledge instead of where I'd initially dashed off. I just got outright robbed. And yeah, I'll look as disgusted with the game as I want. So these guys that are about to spawn here are one of the toughest enemies for most casual players. Don't even dash out of the way, just sidestep them. It's the easiest thing in the world. Additionally, they have, so your chain dash, maybe your regular dash too, I don't remember testing it, has a handful of invincibility frames. Those are the absolute easiest enemies in the game to get it on. Don't kill me, there we go. Because you just press your spacebar or your dash whenever you hear the sound. There's a little interesting skip here. I'm gonna go for once, if I can't die. I'm gonna go ahead and heal just in case. I'm gonna go for this once. And I got it, hell yeah. Basically what happened there is most stairs in this game that seem to be having a Z-axis change are actually only exist in the XY axis and are skewing your movement. Like basically, like if you press left, you're not moving directly left. Same thing with the biasing with dashes and shooting, etc. In order to give you the appearance of a Z-axis change. And any one of those where it's a pseudo Z-axis change actually has a much wider hitbox than it appears, which allows you to just get on the outside. Okay. Screw you. I'm misjudging a lot of this because of the different screen size. They're moving faster than I'm used to. Okay, this is an excellent example of the absolute garbage that is the bias system in this game. That was my fault. That was entirely my fault. I was watching the path and not the gunner. Okay, well, this run is officially not world record anymore, so pressure's off. And we can lose a whole 10 minutes and still be under estimate, so we're not worried. I gotta kill this guy. Get down there, jerks, get out of my way. Holy heck. Language. So if that pylon that you're shooting there is off screen, the game's like, you have not found this secret, and will go so far out of your way to bias your shots away from it. So there we play a bit of baseball. Kill these guys, and this is what I mean by Dirks running away from you. Come on, get back here. And we just lost a buttload of time because Dirks are trash. Okay, coming up, we have our first instance of one of the most annoying sections in the game, a fire maze. So the thing is, these things are just awfully, awfully programmed. So every single one of these platforms has a dash reset on it that can stop your dash midway. Additionally, if you fall off, it throws you back at the very start. And if that wasn't enough, the flames lag your game just slightly, which slightly changes the dash timing. So it's random each time. So you have to like react to it and not, it's, getting it with only one fall is very good, and I'm very happy with that. How am I on ammo? I am fine on ammo. So we kill these guys. Going to spawn someone up here. Nice and easy. Shoot this guy. Someone's going to spawn here. See, the arenas where spawns are set are like super easy because you just know where everything is. And you can just like, I need to kill this guy. Or walk up and kill this guy because I squandered my extra ammo because I missed. And frame perfect dash here. Hey! It saves no time. Coming up, we have one of actually the hardest rooms in the game for most casual players. It's not that bad in the speedrun setting because we just kind of know what to do. This is, well, there's not really a room name for it. We're not like Super Metroid where we have a room for every name in the game. We do have a room for most of the names, though, or I do. By the way, you can just always chain dash. You will never, ever fall out of that platform. It's just beautiful. And this is probably the first secret most people discover. By the way, this invisible square right here is just covered in dash resets, and you can't dash it all on it until you get to the very edge. It's just absolute garbage. By the way, absolute garbage is a phrase you'll hear me say a lot during this run. I have a mantra I like to say. Mantra, I don't know the pronunciation. A Hyperlight Drifter is a well-made game. Dripping with sarcasm, as you can tell. Okay, don't screw us here. Beautiful. Oh, it ate my dash. Okay, whatever. We're good. This game also has a huge problem with eating inputs, occasionally duplicating inputs, and a lot of the instances of eating and duplicating varies from machine to machine. It's a potential issue. That said, I still highly recommend running this game to anyone. I'm going to grab a drink during this dog. That's our doggy friend. The lore is she's the reason we're alive. We used to be dead. We're not anymore. Or something like that. There's a nearly infinite amount of like lore theories, especially for a game this small online. And if you got like an hour or two to kill, highly recommend looking some stuff up. Again, we talked to our guy, the Pink Drifter. We don't care. Okay, yeah, that's great. You had a frat party, whatever. But like these monoliths tell the individual lore of the series, and then there's a secret text area once you get all the monoliths that you can find that tells you like the overall lore of the game. And a lot of this is like so tragic. How am I on health? Okay. By the way, grabbing a warp is a free HP pack. Hey! It loses some time, but it's a marathon run. We're just trying to get through. By the way, this is a very hard category, and I've died in not even the hard part yet. Hopefully I will ace some of the harder stuff so that looks less childish and unimpressive, etc. So there's a nice little dash you can do like right there-ish to like just completely skip going over to this area, but ends up being faster to just grab these so we don't do it. Like you can just dash straight from there to there. Again, not much to say here, pretty self-explanatory, just dashing along. Nice triangle dash here. By the way, if you go try to do this at home, a lot of this movement is way harder than I'm making it look. Not to brag. Maybe slightly to brag. Don't eat my dash. You're eating my dash. I really wish I was playing this game with an input viewer so you could see like how much some of this stuff is getting messed up that I'm doing. Grab this key. Grab this bit. Which, by the way, if we did not have to grab the one key door early on, this route would probably do east first. And there's some pretty crazy strats for that first half of North Climb that you... Oh, right, I practiced movement for this area. There we go. I figured out that movement like 3 days ago, and it's not in my muscle memory yet. I still have to remember to do it every time I enter the room. All right, so there's our first instance of alchemy toads, I call them. A lot of these names are just stuff I assign to them and are not official names. I'm kind of proud that I've been such an integral part of the community for so long that I'm seeing people call stuff, especially bosses, by my names I came up with. I would like to formally disagree with that. I'd like to file a complaint. By the way, coming up here, this save right here, if we die between now and the module, it is one of the absolute worst deaths in the game. So remember how we hit that pylon to raise this bridge? We're way past the pylon where it saves, but it doesn't keep the bridge up. So we have to go back all the way around. Unfortunately, I'm out of stamina here. That's why I'm slowing down. This fight's kind of some trash. It's way faster to advance this toad cycle, but it's way easier to kill the gunners first. So I do the toad cycle first because I'm a man. Okay, so coming up here, we have our first instance of a fourth module. These play extremely loud cutscenes. You can hold your hand there because we are going to save and quit out of it. Once we see the save icon, we're good. If we do that too late and the cutscene starts, that really loud, annoying sound at the very start of the game, that opening cutscene, becomes permanent until we completely restart the game. Fun. I would not recommend that ever unless you're like a masochist or something, in which case have at it. I'm not going to judge your life choices. Again, this is another thing I love about the game, by the way. Like, you had that like super intense arena battle and that just have this nice tranquil bit. And by the way, remember how I did 2 dashes up that plank on the way up? You can't do that on the way down. It does not work. You will go in the drink every single time. Despite like theoretically, game, please. Despite, like, theoretically, the dashes should be the same length. Why am I falling off on one side and not the other? Who knows? Hyperlight Drifter is a well-made game. Eh. But like, look at those waterfall effects up there. Absolutely gorgeous. This place is so good. So part of the lore of the game, spoilers by the way, well not technically spoilers because it never says it anywhere, is a bunch of species banded together to fight these titans right there. Yeah, around there. There we go. One of them was not actually the toads that you're seeing all over the place here. Did I seriously just get... Oh my god, this game. So, one of the instances of dash bias is it actually bias... I'm just going to slow way. Okay, you're gone. Is it biases you toward enemies? Which means even those exploding corpse guys count as enemies, and it'll dash you toward them even you're trying to dash past them. Okay, I'm done complaining about this game for 30 seconds. You know what? I actually lied. So, one annoying thing, I swear this game's amazing, by the way, despite how much I'm ranting about it, is the dev's idea of difficulty for a lot of the fights is just throw a bunch of enemies at you. This is an example of where it's really easy, because they group up, your sword hitbox is gigantic, and when your gun actually hits something, the actual bullet hitting it hitbox is gigantic. So we can just one-shot these entire groups at once. And it's like, it's nice and easy, and like I'm just sitting here waiting for this auto-scroller, basically. I am going to go for a cutscene skip at the end of this. Usually when the drifter does his like, oh, I just won flourish, mess it up. Everything freezes. Sorry, I had to focus there for just half a second. But in this fight and one other fight, which is actually the immediately one following, the projectiles will still move. And it can actually hit you out of that animation and save like 2 seconds. So coming up, we have the exact opposite of what I just described, where their idea like, oh, let's make a hard fight, let's throw in 1 billion enemies, results in, frankly, one of the absolute worst fights in the game. And I don't just mean from it's hard to do fast, it's hard to do alive. I mean, I would like to formally disagree with that, Dash. Well, I mean, you can see this. And again, these are random. I'm having to react to this in real time in order to not die. I tried to go to the cutscene skip, didn't get it. And first try, hell yeah. And since I hear no clapping, I should emphasize that is not a fight you should clap for. Give it no credit. But something I'm doing there, if you're ever doing that fight casually, try to baseball the exploding guys into groups of enemies. And sometimes works out well, sometimes doesn't. Alright, so every area has a 3-module door. Actually, that's a lot. The south actually has a few 1-module doors, which leads to, like, basically to the boss. And behind there is the area leading directly to the boss. Every area also has an 8-module door, which, as I mentioned, have those intense challenge areas. We'll actually be getting into our first one in about maybe 10-15 minutes here. Good movement for this area is literally just not falling, so I'm not caring too much. Because each time you fall, it doesn't look like much, but it's like about 2 seconds. Oh, you actually came down here. That's like a 1 in 30 pattern for him to actually make it all the way down here. So a lot of people think, in order to get that bit up to the upper left, you have to do this entire fight. Or mess up this entire fight like I'm doing. Gun, please come out. It was eating my gun input for like 3 seconds there. I claim no fault for that. Okay, there we go. Clean. Clean. Air quotes. Where was I? Oh, yeah. But if you you can actually get to the bit from the second half. I'm losing so much thunder from dying there. Spawns a fight here. Please cooperate. Hell yeah. That's so rare that they cooperate like that. That was such a good fight. That's like the best possible you can get. And then it was because they were nice to me, not because I did well. There will be fights later in the game where doing well is very difficult. That's not one of them. That's do they cooperate or not. Nice aim, man. Nice aim. And we get our instance of a 4th key. Coming up here, we will have our first 3-key door. I believe there's 2 more 3-key doors in the game, at least one. And then there's like an 8-key, a 6-key, and a 10-key, and a 12-key or something like that. So for the longest time, when I was first learning this category, I was like, this arena is so awful. I hate doing this arena every single time. And then I realized you don't have to do the arena. There's absolutely nothing keeping you there. There's no reason to fight it. Oh, he's running away. I don't need him. Okay, you're good. Have a good day, Dirk. So up here, we have our first instance of a crushing block. Those are one-shots. They will kill you instantly. We also have a rare bug here. Okay, I did not trigger it. So basically, if the game does not know where to put you, it puts you at what it considers to be the entrance to the room. However, this room is also connected to that underground room we saw a little bit ago, the one I died in. So if you manage to dash off one of those, down here, right, I'm an idiot. Those blocks that fall underneath you, and then fall into the bottomless pit, like right as it disappears, it throws you back to the entrance to the room and loses you about 2 minutes. Which I didn't get it, which is beautiful. Combat gets way more interesting, but right now we're pretty limited for options. East is basically the easiest area to do without upgrades, and grenades would go such a long way. I've tried so hard to find a route that lets me get grenades, but all of them just lose more time than they save. But fortunately, we're almost to the part where it gets interesting. And again, set spawns, easy enough. So coming up here, we have our first instance of a boss, which is the Toad, but we're coming back to him in a bit. By the way, lore for this area. So the Otter people were the ones who helped the other races fight the Titans. Then the Toads came in and decided they don't like the Otters. There's numerous examples of otters being skinned alive, being eaten, etc. It's like really, really dark, morbid stuff. There are some people you can talk to, and I use the word talk in air quotes. The only text in the game is the monoliths, and they'll just give you pictures with like some really gruesome stuff about how the Toads came in and just like, this is our place now, and massacred them. This is such a dark game when you actually like look into the lore of it. But our first boss coming up here is the Toad King. He does actually have a safe spot, and we will be taking advantage of that. In addition, he is, even without that, the easiest boss in the game. He has an AI loop the devs knew about, but he also has the only boss cutscene skip. If we can hit him and then dash into it, it skips his cutscene where he's like threatening us. So here I'm using what's called a combo reset, just for a little bit. Basically, if you do 2 plinks, and then or just a sword slash and then 2 sword slashes and then just normal pistol shot, resets your combo. There's very few instances where this is useful in the game, as it is combo negative, and we like to have. Yeah, that was a pretty good fight. You can clap for that. And well, you'll see pretty fast that we get better options. So this is our first instance of a YouTube play button. We need to raise 4 of these in order to access the final level. And coming up here, we get our second gun, which is, bar none, absolute. I know I used, remember how I said that chain dash is like the best thing in the game? This is the best weapon in the game. It's the shotgun. It does a whopping 5 damage. It has a long internal cooldown. However, and again, if you want to play the game casually, that's supposed to make it. Again, if you want to play the game casually, like tune out now, you can't unknow this. If you switch weapons and swap back, it resets the shotgun's internal cooldown. You can use it immediately. Which means if you're really, really good, which speedrunners kind of are, you can just fire, sword slash, switch weapons, switch back in the space of your normal plink. This brings your get down there, Drifter. This brings your normal sword combo up from 3 to 18. I'm going to take this really slow because sometimes you can just fall through the world here for no reason and get stuck in a loop. And I don't want that to happen in a marathon. Okay, easy enough. Just a bit of movement here. I want to focus on this so I don't die, because I'm playing with fire, doing this at 2 health. There we go. Okay. And we'll be getting another shotgun later that is actually like pretty inferior to the regular shotgun. but well, there's some shenanigans we can do with it. Second fire maze, I'm going to do series time here. I hate this game. Waiting for stamina. Okay. Again, those are pretty trash just because the game's poorly programmed. And we have all 8 modules in the east area. I almost said west area. Which means we can access the 8 module door, which conveniently enough happens to be right next to us here. Would you believe we routed this category? Oh my gosh. So this is, I like to call it Atlantis. By the way, if you ever have the chance to listen to the soundtrack's fantastic. I can't remember the name for the life of me. I think it's Aquatic Depths. This is the absolute best, bar none, soundtrack in the entire game. It is so good. The area is really cool. It has a fight that's actually mostly not trash, except for some Dirks. There is a trash fight coming up here, though. We don't care about you guys. No, the hard one's over here. Okay, eat my sword slash, that's fine. It ate my sword slash for like 3 seconds there. I'm just gonna go ahead and heal. Okay, up there. And then there's a nice little hidden bit behind. You can actually kind of see the switch there just a little bit. And then coming up here, we have the Atlantis Arena. This is an example, honestly, probably the easiest of the 4 module arenas, but it's still not a walk in the park. And then Dirk runs for us, bad RNG. Oh, God. These guys on my screen usually have shadows, so I'm a bit confused why they don't here. Ah, there we go, first try. And then here we get the diamond shotgun, which again is strictly inferior to the shotgun, but once we get to the first boss that's not Toad, you will understand why I am talking up this weapon so much. And just a little bit to finish out east. It's again just mostly walking, nothing much to talk about here. There is a teeny tiny bit of cleanup we will have to do later in the game, quite a bit later actually, including the best cloak. You know, some of you might know who've played the game. We can get other colored cloaks besides the red one. They actually all have unique effects, except for the red cloak, obviously. And they're not mentioned anywhere in game, but they're all on the wiki, and the wiki is mostly correct, although it omits a few details. This is also the point where I figure out if I actually complete East correctly, and I did. We got everything, yay! Unless I missed a key or monolith. But the bits is the big thing, because this is our first instance of shopping. This is frankly where the run starts to get fast, because first off, we are going to buy grenades. Grenades are, you know, I said remember how many times I said bar none the best upgrade in the game? Bar none my favorite upgrade in the game at the very least. Grenades throw on a minute 15 cooldown. Basically throw a AoE attack that does 3 damage to everyone around you. If you remember your pistol, 1 damage. You can bounce grenades off stuff, it's neat. Additionally, we are getting Charge Slash, which does a whopping 5 damage, and Phantom Slash. Phantom Slash consumes about half our stamina, which doesn't sound good, but it's also the only thing we can do to go through enemies, and there's some instances where that's actually super useful. Just stretching my wrist out a little bit here. I need to menu guns. No, there we go. And we have 2 little dungeons in the north, and then we're gonna go ahead into the boss. And you'll pretty quickly see how grenades speed these things up. Oh, by the way, Titan over there, if you didn't notice. One quirk of grenades is they will not, for whatever reason, they will not always come out when you press the button. So if you see me commentate like, we're going to throw a grenade here, and then there's no grenade, and I look super panicked. That was not my fault, theoretically. We aren't entirely certain why they sometimes don't come out. So like grenade, okay, came out. And you can instantly see straight away why speedrunners like grenades. But the interesting thing is, we're not sure, like the circumstances in which they don't come out is inconsistent. And we're unsure if they're supposed to come out and the bug is they're not coming out, or if there's a lot more circumstances where they're not supposed to actually come out and the bug is they're coming out anyway. So Phantom Slash through there. Oh, Phantom Slash, by the way, does 2 damage, so we can one-shot all those enemies. And a dash by us, please. Kill them, throw a grenade down, and kills the entire room. This is frankly like the impressive, like this stuff is what got me running this category. This is so satisfying to do correctly. And just basically run around being a lawnmower. Dude, don't do that to me. Okay, so this is our instance of dash collecting to skip a cutscene. Okay, so that bit is a 4th bit. Every time you get a 4th bit, it does that like little cutscene to show, hey, you got a whole bit. Dashing into the load zone, we'll just skip that. Again, this fight is all set spawns, nothing much to worry about. I do think it's pretty impressive looking though. It's like, this stuff is so satisfying to watch when it just gets good. We make that guy jump to his doom. He actually did early for us. He was really nice today. You can actually get out of bounds on that. By the way, the reason I don't really run glitched categories is out of bounds in this game sucks. Absolutely sucks. First off, like each of the out of bounds, like, okay. Really good fight. Really good fight. So each of the out of bounds, technically speaking, has its own map. And like you have to memorize that, and a lot of them don't make sense. And additionally, out of bounds in this game has given me PTSD for every other game ever. Because after like 3-4 seconds, the game's like, you're somewhere you're not supposed to be, we will just kill you instantly. And there are ways to reset the out of bounds timer. Popping a health pack is one. You can also sit, and I'll reset the timer for whatever reason. Because sitting takes priority over almost every action in a game. You can cancel so much stuff with sitting. But anyway, where was I? Yeah. So the out of bounds is, don't get me wrong, the glitched categories have some really, really cool stuff going for them. Oh, I messed that up. Ah, terrible fight. Okay. But they can be a bit nerve-wracking. So this one's a bit bugged. We have to actually wait over here and then dash, or else we won't, it'll just stop us and throw us back. So coming up here, we have a arena. You might think I'm handling it a bit weird at first. Grenade, please come out. Press that like 3 times, good lord. So if any enemies make it, oh no, I'm dead. I'm dead, yeah. If any enemies make it into that arena, then the walls go, I'm all the way back here, right? The walls go back up and you lose a bunch of time killing them. Maybe we can do this one. Not right, okay. It's this keyboard, I swear. Keyboard's very different from what I'm used to. I keep fat fingering left when I'm trying to do right, or when I'm trying to do down. Easy. Okay, we're gonna actually heal here. Grenade, actually come out, please. Oh my god, this game. Had to Phantom Slash there. Phantom Slash makes an amazing panic button, by the way. Okay. Okay, we're out. That was awful, but we'll take it. Shoot, I need to wait for that now. We're gonna grab the health pack here. And then 4 birds are gonna spawn here. We're just gonna kill them as fast as possible while dodging this guy. Easy enough. Okay, so this next room, we get most of the way in, and then we activate a bunch of killing blocks of like the one-shot blocks, which fortunately deals with most of the enemies in the room, but unfortunately, get this leaper. Actually spawn shadows this time, okay. So 9 times out of 10, this first block is not going to go immediately. And it's faster to just assume as such. Okay, we got the usual pattern. And then this gives us a good pattern here, and we're out. Okay, but that 1 out of 10 time where it just kills you straight away, the rest of the patterns just become completely random. Go. All right, and then this pattern is based on when you enter the screen. All right, easy enough. Coming up, we've got a bit of an annoying arena. Oh, by the way, yeah. So if you die once, then the pattern becomes completely random. These bird spawn positions are completely random. I swear I was on 2 health. I think I got the save. Hopefully I got the save. Yeah, I got the save. We're good. Oh, I was messing this up horribly. Okay, keep in mind that this screen size is very... Are you kidding me? I can't aim. Again, screen size is very different. How sensitive my mouse is different. And considering how many movements are based on like where my mouse is, we'll just throw a grenade there, take care of half of them. I didn't charge. I wasn't holding. I really wish I had an input viewer right now because I was not holding my sword slash down. Don't worry, I'll make the hard fights look easy, and this will look... You'll be impressed that you did this casually. All right, there we go. That's how the fight's supposed to look every single time. But again, those bird patterns are completely random, so sometimes you just get screwed, especially if your mouse is like, no, you didn't do a sword. You didn't do a sword. I'm trying not to be passive-aggressive here. Okay. With any luck, I will nail the boss, which, by the way, North boss is what a lot of people consider the hardest boss in the game. I personally disagree, but I can see where they're coming from. If I do North boss right, it'll be beautiful, and you will never have doubted me in the first place.
Never doubted.
Never doubted.
Never doubted.
But if I'm being honest, this is not a good run right now. It's not a bad one. For reference, second place in this category is 2 hours, and we are still on pace to be well below second place. As I said, this is a brutal category. It's a test of endurance. This room is very cold. Slightly cold. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it too much. Not sugarcoat, opposite of sugarcoat.
It's pretty cold.
Thank you.
It's pretty cold.
Okay, we're going to wait for the save here because this is a pretty new strat. I might mess it up, but I do want to show it off. Switch to pistol here. Aw, I was so close to getting it. So close to getting it. If that grenade did hit, that would have been a perfect fight. As is, it was a pretty close to perfect fight. So coming up here, we have the library, which is frankly one of the largest, most filled rooms in the game. But it's pretty easy. It's all just movement. There's a lot of obstacles in your way, but a lot of them will not dash bias themselves towards you. There's a few pits in those dark areas, but we know where they are, so they're not a big deal. That said, I do kind of want full ammo, or at least more ammo than I have right now for the fight coming up, so I'm going to slash some boxes. Unfortunately, we're full up on health packs, so that's pretty good. We've taken very little damage this north. So basically, anytime we didn't die, we had a basically perfect fight. Here, we're going to throw a grenade. Oh, you actually came out this time. How's it feel? You're not shy today. If you are just joining us, this is Hyperlight Drifter 99%, no major glitches. Hyperlight Drifter, if you've not played it, is a little indie game for PC, PS4, and Switch, which is basically, imagine like a 2D, OG 2D Legend of Zelda, mixed with kind of like Dark Souls combat, so it's a bit difficult. That said, if you guys have only seen like Fur's run where they just had like pistol, Welcome to 99% bosses. Yeah. That wasn't even a good fight.
Got him!
Exactly. First try. And lo and behold, we have a valid run still. We've gotten everything. You're not gonna lie, like maybe 1 out of every 8 runs, even as like hundreds of hours in this category, I forget something. There's like 300 collectibles in this game, and none of them are unique. So, you might have noticed that we use 2 shotguns there. I mentioned that switching weapons restores the internal cooldown. It works for the other shotguns. So if you fire shotgun, switch weapons, fire shotgun. I need to do a menu here like an idiot. Wrong weapon. There we go. There we go. You can just spam out something like, I don't know, upwards of 20 damage in the space of about a second. And after that point, bosses just become solely about ammo management. So we're going to guide the 2 other shotguns. The 2 shotgun ammo upgrades. And then we can spam out even more. And you might say, well, wouldn't that mean you have less shot, like it's ammo management becomes harder because you're storing less ammo? And to that I tell you, never ever, game please, never ever ever buy the pistol ammo upgrade because all of your ammo regain rates are tied to your pistol. So if you buy that, you regain ammo much slower. As is, we're still getting like a 1/6 of our ammo back. And even though our total ammo is a lot larger, we're still getting that 1/6 of our ammo back. So instead of a half of a shotgun pellet every single time we hit someone, we're getting like 3/4. Basically, it will always take the same number of sword slashes to get to full ammo, so long as you do not buy the pistol ammo upgrade. West is starting to get into the area where like they kind of designed this to be one of the earlier places you visited and not have the chain dash. They expect you to walk everywhere here. So movement becomes less routed and more just like, let's get from point A to point B and hopefully not get stuck on too many trees. This is kind of, I don't like West area, just the aesthetic, the gameplay, and also 2 of the, I would say like 4 hardest rooms in the game, maybe 5, we'll up to 5, are back to back to back on West Revisit. So we'll just ruin these Dirk's campfire to grab their bit. Easy enough. And then it's just a lot of movement from here. Not much to say. Nice little secret down here. Well, 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 what do we have here? No one, okay. By the way, fun fact coming up. I started that sentence a bit too early, actually. Let me get up to the door first. So over here, you see this little green triangle? That's a hole in the world. You can just fall through that. Dash bias makes it really, really hard to fall into that, but you can just fall into that. Try to demonstrate? Nah, I can do it. It's hard enough, it's not worth trying for. But there's a few instances of those like little triangle glitch textures. By the way, the opposite is also true. Get around that. There we go. The opposite is also true. If you see one of those triangle glitch textures above a bottomless pit, you can stand on it. What's interesting is it's most definitely a glitch. If you sit down there, even though you were standing up fine, you will fall. Well, not to your death, but to your damage, I guess. Hyper Light Drifter is a well-made game. What can I say? Again, amazing game. You should 100% buy this. By the way, I will say the Switch version is freaking clean. They actually had like a lot of time spent on quality assurance. A lot of the bugs that plague this version are not there in the Switch version. That said, the Switch version is not speedrunnable for a handful of reasons. First off, there is like a 3-minute opening cutscene that you cannot skip on the Switch version. There's a few glitches patched out. No, don't kill me. Here's the thing. The wolves, if they want you dead, you're just dead, and there's really not much you can do. They don't want my body today, so we're fine. Although that one wolf did. This is another one up in there, is a handful of instances in the game where they just try to tell you a story. Basically, the gist for the west area is you see like all of these green crystals. basically their method for fighting the Titans was they used this giant energy cannon. A lot of people theorize was developed by the people in the South. South area, not like southern USA, obviously. Little sneaky cough skip here. Anyway, there's a cough trigger in the middle of the room. Throw a grenade down here, grab this guy. And, by the way, the transition zone just goes through the wall, so you can just walk there and you'll transition to the next room. I might call serious time on this room. This is one of my least favorite rooms in the game. That said, you can just go down here. The enemies are all off screen and just skips the fight. Oh, by the way, so samurais are an interesting enemy because they are one of a handful of enemies with invincibility frames. Excuse me? Screw you. If you get hit mid-heal, it completely cancels your heal. And this area is too hazardous to risk. Anyway. Serious time for this fight. So anyway, the samurais can also reflect projectiles, which it's like pixel perfect and frame perfect to do it, but it can reflect your entire shotgun and one-shot you. It's one of the very few instances where like it will all hit at the same time. By the way, there's just a gap there so you can walk through. And that's not even a glitch, it's just there's not a wall there. It's I think the only instance of something actually one-shotting you from full health that's not like a combo and not going out of bounds and getting the game mad at you. Coming up here, we have what is colloquially known as the dog room. Not the dog room, the dog room. And similar to a lot of other rooms, it's kind of trash. Okay, actually, since this is a marathon run, I am grabbing that health pack. There we go. So, fortunately for us, okay, there we go. We can use grenades here because use grenades here. That's another example of, remember when I said if you hear me say use a grenade and then look very, very panicked? Okay, I'm a bit worried here because he got in. He can soft lock me. Okay, we got out. If he hits you, you have to walk all the way out because it both considers you in a teleport and won't let you open the menu, and not in a teleport at the same time. Off to the left is, technically we could almost do it now if it weren't for the key door, but the worst rooms in the game, I don't even want to think about them. Like if you thought some of the rooms so far were good, oh boy, you see nothing yet. So crystal spiders here, this is our first instance of seeing them, are on first glance one of the absolute hardest enemies in the game. They basically can attack you and then freeze you. And interesting quirk is, oh, there we go, menu. So they basically said when designing crystal spiders, set number of inputs to break out of the crystal. Okay, simple enough, right? Unfortunately, oh dude, I'm like stuck on a lip or something. Unfortunately, the set number of inputs like included like fractional degrees of the joystick, so it takes like a quarter turn or something to escape it on pad. But on keyboard mouse, no, get me out of there. There we go. That's also why we do Phantom Slash. It can go through stuff and it's fully invincible for the duration. It's awesome as just a panic button. Anyway, so we have to like press like 10 plus keys and like just mash WASD as fast as possible, and it still takes like multiple seconds to break out. I'm gonna grab both of these, wait for that one because I don't want to tempt fate. Grab this bit down here. But that said, if oh shoot, I am not on a shotgun. There we go. However, I'm about to change your life if you are one of those poor souls who have encountered crystal spiders casually and just don't know what to do with them. What you do is, well, here's the thing. They can only attack to the right. So if you are on the left side of them, okay, dash bias, nice. They can't hit you. Throw a grenade before I chop your legs off. Holy crap. I pressed that like 20 times. So yeah, if they are to your left or to your right side, they can't do anything to you because they can only attack that one singular direction. You're welcome, gamers. Coming up, we have one of the more hidden modules in the game. So this is already like basically a secret area. Then we have this secret area. Then we go down here, and there's like another secret area. Is this a fourth module? I actually don't remember the route. I'm pretty sure I save and quit here. Yeah, this is. Okay. Okay, cutscene averted. Hallelujah. Okay, this isn't bad for an hour run. This isn't great, but it's not awful. We lost. Oh, we might be overestimate because of the whole snafu with the shift tab thing. Estimate is 2 hours, by the way, if you're curious. So we threw a grenade here, and then these guys will only take one. Alright, easy enough arena. Coming up, we have one of the harder sections of the game for newer players, and frankly, still kind of hard for me. This is the Crystal Bridge. There is actually a setup to get all the way across the bridge cleanly. That didn't count? Okay. I see how it is, game. No, turn the lights out. It's putting us in the mood. But we only have to make it halfway across the bridge because there's a whole secret area down there, and I mean, this is 99%. I can't even focus. I don't know if you can hear the yelling on stream, but they're getting very rowdy because it's like late at night. I guess it just hit 10 o'clock, and everything else closed down besides the LAN event, which is going on all night. Perfect. I actually wanted to end up near. No, I don't want to turn off sticky key or turn on sticky keys. God damn it! Did it completely? It opened a new instance of Hyperlight Drifter instead of reopening the previous one. This game sometime, like, I didn't click Steam. I clicked. This game is such trash. This game is such trash. Oh my god. So that's having to redo that section because I got my head out of the game. That right there, no excuses, just me being bad. You saw where my mouse was. That's a dash sheet, and then it is very, very easy on the Crystal Bridge to get stuck in a cycle of death. So I'm going to take a sip of water and then give it another go. All right, we've calm. We've found our center. We're going to nail this first try. Unless the game eats our inputs again. Oh my god, I am absolutely livid. I'm playing so bad right now, it's ridiculous. You know what, I'm just going to blame the monitor. Yeah, it's the monitor's fault. It's the fact that all my dashes are just slightly off. And this keyboard, and maybe I'm bad at the game. Could I be bad at the game? It's too early in the night for those sort of philosophical thoughts. That one was my fault. I just did not press the dash button there. I've got a bad left hand from an old injury, and it's kind of hurting right now too. Just to pile on the excuses. Again, how are you doing, man? No, I don't really care about your cutscene. Thank you. Man, he's so polite. He's just so happy to see us every time. Like, look, he's just coughing with joy. Grab a nice health pack. So this room coming up here, our next module, is colloquially called the Poker Room. It was named such by the original runner of this name, Porky, I think. He's changed his Twitch name enough. I don't even want to take a guess at what it is now, but it's some variation of Porky. So he calls it well, I'll point out why he calls it the Poker Room after I grab the module. I definitely Phantom Slash there. It's called the Poker Room because these guys are totally playing poker. Only instance of the game where there's like something just like, they're playing a game. They're having fun, man. So coming up, we have just a bunch of sections of mostly me running around grabbing stuff. There's a few save points, so I'm probably going to stay quiet during those just so I can focus. But they're pretty self-explanatory. That said, this up here, super dick move. They put one of these crystal traps, like along the crystal bridge, directly underneath that bit. It's literally impossible to get without being hit unless you trigger it with a grenade. Or not literally impossible. It's very, very difficult to get without being hit. Over there on the right is like 5 health packs for no reason. I don't even know why they included it in the game, but it's one of the very few rooms we don't see in 99%. Or 100% for that matter. There's nothing that I would care about. So coming up, we have the pre-West boss room. It's actually a tongue twister, say that 5 times fast. And this is just a giant room where there's a bunch of stuff we need to clean up. Okay, don't let me pass. Throw a grenade here. Kills the 2 guys we don't care about. Grab the health pack, full health. Dash past the wolf. Go down here. Wolf chases us. Swap weapons. Oh, bad time to scratch. Dude, every time I take my hand off, I have to like look down and make sure I'm on the right WASD. This keyboard feels a bit wonky to me. Granted, I normally use a laptop, so I don't know how much of it... Oh, I don't have a grenade. Right, I don't ever have a grenade there. I'm an idiot. I just recently changed that strat. Basically, we used to kill them after, where we would have a grenade, and then we realized it's faster and easier and safer to kill them before. But I forget sometimes I don't have a grenade there. But again, remember how I said we're doing just those 2 dashes? If we're doing 3 dashes, every time you see me like kind of collide with a wall, we would bonk and lose like 2 seconds. Even with like this admittedly shoddy looking movement I'm doing, we're saving a bunch of time on, I don't know, just finding like a proper route to dash the entirety of the room. Keep in mind with how many places we have to go that, stamina becomes an issue at a certain point. The reason we do the bit second, by the way, is normally there's a bunch of samurai guarding it, but they all go down that path to try to chase after us. Here we have one of the weirdest save points in the entire game. Opening that door is a save point for some reason. There's no other instance of a... I should heal. We're right before a boss. Bosses give you basically full health packs, although they take time to get. Yeah, but it's the only instance, I think... No, there's one other instance of a... Dude... Wolf, please. As I said, if wolves want your body, they will go for your body, and there's nothing you can do. No. I was stuck. I could not move, and every time I tried to phantom slash, I would just bonk on the wall. Fortunately, we are back here, and I only need to get this, and we've lost no progress. Isn't life beautiful? It's the circle of life, the circle of death. There's other circle metaphors I could go for. Okay, there, a lot cleaner. So interestingly enough, up here we have one of the keys. This is the only example of a key not having a cutscene. We have no idea why. We think it's an oversight. It's never been corrected. Oh, I am too high. This is not the right way. There we go. Head in the game, man. Head in the... Are you serious? That's literally, he's like 1 pixel where you won't dash around him. That's also an example, like you could see me moving my mouse. I dashed there, whatever. You can see me moving my mouse, like trying to get around him. That's another example of dash bias, just being like, no, you want to dash toward the enemies, don't you? That's where you like to be. You want to get toward the enemies because this is a game about fighting, right? And I'm like, wrong, but I mean, I see your point. Okay, so coming up here, we have the West boss. I am hopefully going to be going for a strat pioneered by Muncha Koopas and heavily edited by me for purposes of the double shotgun. Well, not heavily edited, abridged, we'll say. That said, he doesn't always... I'm going to re-enter the room. Oh, this run is going so bad. Okay. Sometimes the game will just eat your dash and not let you into the right spot. We got it. I'm too high, actually, maybe. Nope, got it. Easy. Muncha Koopas was, who is famous Shovel Knight runner, famous everything runner. By the way, he's the only boss to drop a weapon, and he will also show you the key for some reason. But he had it originally with if you manipulate him correctly, he will go down and pop another one of the guys, and you just kill him with regular shotgun. So here, there's like a little cutscene, and we're just going to walk around the trigger. We had to do that slow, or we lose like almost a minute. We don't know why there's a cutscene here. It is not there in any percent. It is only there after you collect a certain number of modules, and the number of modules also seems to change, which suggests that it's like certain modules, basically, if you do the 99% route, it will always be there. If you do the all modules route, it will always be there, but it won't always be there otherwise. Okay, interesting thing, by the way. If you interact with a monolith and then warp away during the... Oh, I am dying. Well, anyway, I guess I can't show that off. If you interact with a monolith and then warp away while it is still trying to like play the monolith cutscene, you're just soft locked for like a good 10 seconds, and you're just walking around. You can't teleport out, you can't open your menu, and then eventually the screen just fades to black. I need to edit weapons. There we go. So this is East cleanup. After this, we'll be completely done with the East area. Say goodbye to it. The rifle that we get from the North boss is one of 2 weapons, one of which we will get pretty late in the game, that can hit those like giant pylons. And so we couldn't do it when we originally came here. I need to itch my eyes real fast and take a drink. Well, we will have backtracked north. We finished most of south in one go, and then we need to do our second west visit. The reason that the west and south have revisits is because of the necessity of keys, which we didn't have there, and that's also why we're doing this second part, because we're about to get the best cloak in the game. This cloak, okay, so first off, looks stylish as all hell. It's the most stylish cloak in the entire game, and like, if you're not killing enemies while being stylish, are you really killing enemies? Honestly. But second off, as I mentioned, every single cloak, except for your starter cloak, has a unique ability. You know how like when we're collecting stuff, like that like meter goes up like that? By the way, you have to shoot that, or you can't make that dash for whatever reason. It'll just send you to the drink. The white cloak halves all interaction times, which mathematically also makes the best cloak in the game, because all the other cloaks do like grenade one, it goes from 115 seconds to 105. It's like they're all like 10%, if even that differences, maybe 20% at best. Whereas, give me half a second, menu here. White cloak is a full 50. Just mathematically, it's the best. And also, we need to look our best, because we're about to fight the hardest boss in the game. I'm not kidding. You think I'm like joking here. Like, this boss is so utterly ridiculous. When the creator was first making this category, he almost didn't include it. This boss is, of course, Soccer Kid. And we're going to just, of course, mercilessly abuse him. Oh, my nose is itching so bad. I thought I had hit the load zone. Okay. Fortunately, so if you're, this is actually possible on controller, but aim your mouse about here. By the way, sitting will actually restore your stamina, and we were completely out. It is actually faster to sit here and wait than to like try to do it because there is like a slight pause in between when you run out of stamina and when it will immediately regain. Whereas, like you can see there, it's not regaining. I screwed up. Please score on me. You can waste like upwards of 30 seconds just scoring on you. This guy is a bully. Also, there's some absolutely amazing fan art out there of like Judgment facing Soccer Kid and like, hey, you want to play? So, if you guys have ever done Soccer Kid casually, you know why some people actually joke he's the hardest boss in the game. Basically, anytime he even touches you, he causes a hard knockdown. And he can just chain stun you for like, I've seen upwards of 30, 45 seconds of him just dancing around you and knocking you down constantly, and you've been unable to even input anything. So I recently got affiliate on Twitch. Shameless self-promotion, by the way. And I posted a little Photoshop I did as my first emote of Soccer Kid, with Soccer Kid's head, Soccer Kid's legs, and then a bodybuilder's torso and arms. And it's quite beautiful. I know Starwave said he might be in the chat. If you got a link to that and you're able to post links, feel free to share its majesty with the world. So you might remember how we've wanted to say hi to our drifter friend this entire time. You know, we might have actually been lying to you. We don't care how... I don't want to turn... Stop it with sticky keys. Anyway, there we go, sorry. I'm just going to hit yes and hope that doesn't screw anything over. Now it's just making no. I don't know if you can hear that noise on stream.
If you go into accessibility...
Oh, I can turn it off?
You can turn it off like forever.
Let's do that. Oh shoot, I'm not used to PC. What's accessibility under?
It says type sticky keys in.
Oh, that will work, okay. Well, there's sticky notes. Oh, there we go. Control panel. You know, let's just not waste more time in the run. We need to have the pink drifter die by talking to him a bunch, so we can steal his clothes. It's canon. Okay, that's our last time we have one of the pink drifter cutscenes, so not a big deal anyway. There's not really another instance where I have to mash interact like that. But I apologize for the slight issue, especially if you could hear the loud beeping on stream. Boy, just full of technical difficulties here. So South has some of my absolute favorite fights in the game. It has some excellent uses of grenades. I tried to say uses and usage at the same time, and it just kind of didn't quite work out. White Cloak at work. Oh my god, this thing is so good. And I still got trashed by the Horde. Again, if you see me dash off an edge just randomly and then respawn on the edge of the ledge, I got robbed. It was not my fault. That one was my fault. Okay, so if you do this fight fast enough here, it won't spawn a second wave. So we try to just grenade it. And easy. First try. You know, obviously I spent so much time practicing late game fights that my early game fights are trash, right? I'm still mad that like that one bird fight took me like 3 tries. That's such an easy fight. I'm so consistent at that. Okay, so here's where we have like a lot of the insta-kill blocks. I assume they were manufactured here or something. Alright, make me through. There we go. Oh, I am on 1 health. I did not realize. So we need to kill these guys. But coming up, we have no boss fight, just a regular module. Why would you ever think it was a boss fight? And I'm just going to grab the extra health pack for safety. I don't need it for this fight, but I might need it later. Yeah, we just have a regular module. Psych. And again, we have 2 shotguns. He doesn't stand much of a chance. Frankly, North Boss is probably the most interesting double shotgun fight. Oh, I should have done my menu here. Not a big deal. And there's also a pair of creepy eyes, by the way, if you're curious. So part of the plot is South, or the implied plot, it's not actually confirmed, is they're trying to recreate one of the Titans. Wrong way, there we go. Okay, so coming up, I call that guy Mimic. Coming up next, we have Merlin. Boss Rush does a really, really cool death abuse for it. Basically, if he dies at the same time or after you, it still counts. But the second he dies, you become invincible. And he has like a 4 or 5 second long death animation. But in normal Drifter, even though the setup's pretty consistent, you spawn outside his room, so there's no point in going for it. You can actually shoot the rocket guys fire, which I think that's the only instance in the game where we actually do that. But that aim shot's pretty consistent, even on this weird hardware. By the way, rocket guys are heroes. They will hit you from angles you didn't know were possible. Throw the grenade, God. Please don't kill me. I threw a grenade. I was mashing grenades so hard it was not coming out. That was supposed to be such a cool fight. I'm so mad. But we made it out alive. And this is a save, by the way. Ooh, mood lighting. Hell yeah. This is a save. And if they kill us here, we'll just respawn there. And they'll respawn back where they were, so we'll be fine. No, I'm good. This mood lighting is awesome. I didn't realize I was on 1 health. I have no excuse for that. That was just me. Yeah, production distracted me. Still batting 1,000 on these excuses. But I was avoiding healing because there is a health pack down here, and it's faster to consume a health pack when you have 3 health packs than to pop a health pack. So if I can make it to the next one, then I basically save time. There is a lot of disco lights going on in the background. I don't know how much you can see, if any. If we just dash here, he'll miss us. By the way, fun glitch if you ever have a few extra minutes in this game. There is something you can do called Clippy, where basically you are halfway through a fall and then get pulled onto solid ground somehow. I did a Phantom Slash, came out the second dash, whatever. The easiest one to do is dashing while collecting a module, and it will just pull you back to where the module is. However, if you feel like challenging yourself, if you get hit by a rocket guy while he's... Oh, you can also explode the rockets next to them, and they will do damage to him. So there, he had 5 health. I just fired 2 pistol shots, exploded his rocket, and killed him. But anyway, where was I? If the rocket hits you, because the rockets do cause a hard knockdown, and it knocks you on a solid ground, you can actually get that same Clippy state and just be able to walk through all the walls in the game. Also, speaking of Clippy, my absolute favorite glitch in the game, and we just got to save, so we don't care anymore. That room is very long if you don't get that save. You can actually dash off the edge and then hit the kill plane, and then it thinks you're out of bounds, and then plays your death on every single frame of the module cutscene like animation. So your Drifter's just standing here like pouring blood, like fountains of it in all directions. It's hysterical. Wait a bit, throw a grenade. Oh, I need to heal. Huh? Is there a Dirk running away? Yeah, there's a Dirk running away. This is what I mean. Dirks just run away and waste years of your time, despite you performing strats perfectly. Like, okay, I've not performed this run well, if I'm being honest, but I've gotten some pretty trash. So, okay, I need to talk through what happened there. Because I bonked, which made me invincible, and the game considered me to be out of bounds and killed me on the out of bounds timer. I was technically safe. Yeah, I was just dead there. I forgot to heal at the start of that fight. By the way, the dashes that killed me on the blocks almost never happen. But I am getting screwed by how much my grenades are just like not... There we go. There we go, and then... That's how the fight's supposed to go. I'm glad I got to show that off. Yeah, I just died so I can show off how to properly do that fight, because it looks really cool when you do it right. So just for simplicity's sake, yeah, see, there's like a whole second before they go. I don't know what the deal was. There's also a random hole in the floor right there that does not look like there's a hole. You can fall through that, especially with ulti because you have a smaller hitbox. Okay, so coming up here we have Merlin. I believe he's called Bullet Baker in the game's code, and occasionally, also in the game's code, called Ganondorf. And we don't have enough ammo for her, or him, or machine, whatever. We're not going to go for the death abuse, even though we easily could, because it will technically lose time. And this is what the death abuse would look like. Oh, I messed it up. Whatever, we'll just kill him. Basically, if you walk into those, infuriating enough, those orb-shaped explosive balls actually have square hit boxes. So it's entirely possible for, like, if it's on the corner, so like the hitbox explodes, I thought I hit the load zone. He's here, and the hitbox is here, and it just doesn't hit him. So coming up, we have another instance of a fourth module, which we'll save and quit after the save pops up. Don't get trigger happy. Yeah, I don't think I'm hitting under 2 hours. I would like to blame the technical difficulties for my problem and not my poor gameplay. Exactly. I will point out I normally run on Mac, so a lot of this is completely new to me, like I didn't even know it was potentially an issue. You know what, just for fun, I'm going to show off what happens if you soft lock this. So, by the way, low zone does not exist anymore. Menu doesn't exist anymore, and we just eventually fade away into nothingness. Like my Saturday nights. That actually took a very dark turn. I'm just spouting nonsense here. All right, so coming up, we have, I said this is one of the hardest sections of the game a lot, but coming up, we have one of the hardest sections of the game. Lo and behold, what a surprise. So this room took me, not this room, I guess the next one, took me quite a long time to get consistent at. And I think I have it consistent. I'm pretty certain I will not die here, assuming I remember to do my weapons menu here, because we've got another thing that only rifle can open. All right, then down here, and white cloak's a godsend, he can't get to us. Throw a grenade, sword swing once. I missed a bit somewhere. That should be a fourth one. Trying to think. Shoot, I missed a bit somewhere. Okay, this run's been, bits don't matter that much. This is now a 98% run. I could probably figure it out, but I don't feel like it, if I'm being honest, so. Oh, right. I might die here trying to do this menu. Yeah, I died here trying to do the menu. I need shotgun for the second half of this room. But I'm just racking my brains trying to figure out what I forgot. Well, as I said, 1 out of every 8 runs, I'll forget something. Okay, so coming up, we have a boss fight, which in the code is called Cool Hack Guy. Fun fact. But I personally call it Reaper. And we're going to death abuse it in a really, really interesting way. This is a 2-3 frame window. I've got it pretty consistent. But, well, we'll see if I get it. I'm going to go for it twice before I give up. Oh, this room was too clean. I need to take more damage. There we go. Alright, so we're going to wait for the save here. Trigger the fight. First try. He is now dead. Basically, if we push him off the edge, it kills him immediately. However, a slight issue with that is it will not spawn the bits if we kill him that way. Oh, I forgot to warp away. I'm an idiot. Okay, so one way to exit and re-enter the room is to kill ourselves. So we have him kill us at the same time that he dies. This is actually fixed on the Switch version. The walls will come up and the fight will trigger. Or you can't trigger the fight above where the walls come up. Or you can trigger the fight above where the walls come up on the PC version. Again, they actually went in and found a bunch of... I don't even think I sent them a bug list, but I don't even think they used... I think they found this themselves, which I'm frankly pretty impressed with. Like a lot of this stuff was the community working together for months and months to find it. I still have like a 10-page Word document of bugs on the PC version, by the way. And Heart Machine's like, you might get to those someday. Probably not. Don't hold your breath. Kinder than that. Ooh, okay, he didn't give me good RNG. If the Dirk, those robots actually spawn on the same frame the Dirk dies. So if you kill the Dirk with a shotgun while he's on top of where the robots spawn, the hitbox still exists and kills the robots instantly. But he didn't give me a good pattern, so I couldn't show that off. Hardest part of learning to run this game is memorizing these invisible pathways, bar none. So here we have Chad, the missile guy. I don't think it's Chad. It was a random name, but we can just kill him as per usual missile guys. He gets a name because he's the only missile guy to appear in any % no major glitches, which is the main category for this game. I believe I have 5th place in that, something like that. Basically, I'm the only top runner of this game as a whole who doesn't have a 34. Because I can never be bothered. I don't enjoy the category, and I don't want to put more time into it. Boss Rush is my baby. I'm the world record holder in that, and the only person to ever get below 3 minutes. I'm completely out of ammo. Normally I would shoot this, but I'm going to go slash that instead. Dude, guys, please, like, just meet me halfway here. I shouldn't be able to spare this ammo, but that's one of the most satisfying explosions in the game, so I just want to show it off. Oh, by the way, I should mention here that we are in the gauntlet of the worst death in the game. If we die between now and the next module, we are sent back to that previous module we're already like a minute away from. And where are you? There we go. And we're still got like 2 minutes to go in this segment. Oh, we might actually hit sub 2 hours just barely, even with all the technical difficulties. So I like to throw a grenade here so these guys don't follow you. I'll explain that in a second. It's not so much a fact of, oh, we don't want to deal with them. It's a fact that, like, you see this platform we just summoned over here? If we go all the way over, they can actually get on that case in point and literally soft lock you down there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I didn't think we'd see one of those that good. Okay, so that spider that just popped out of nowhere, every box in the game has something like a 1 in 500 chance when you break it to just spawn a spider at random. They're so rare. We actually got one. By the way, this platform does not exist on the Switch version. Oh, it does on the PC version, so we take advantage of it. Coming up here, we have one of my absolute favorite fight strats in the game. So we have a pair of robots and a pair of explosive canisters. So we shoot the robot back into the explosive canister and destroy the explosive canisters with one shotgun shot. We're past the worst death. I can rest easy now. It's not even that hard of a part. It's just like if you die, it's so, I cannot understate how much time is lost. Like, forget world record is dead. Like, 3rd place is dead, and 3rd place is like a 215. Okay, grenade, please come out. Hey! And that's the power of White Cloak. Non-White Cloak would have had to deal with that other guy, too. This fight coming up here is intensely random, and I was having serious trouble with in the practice room. So I'm actually going to go silent for this because I do not want to redo this fight. Again, mostly Dirks, random guys. You have to kill everything in this room in order to unlock a bit, which takes just a second. That hit me. Shoutouts to hitboxes. Okay, we're golden. Okay, so Archer, I won't die to the RNG. We have a chance to get a 12-second fight or like a 30-second fight, depending on the pattern she gives us. We're hoping for the 12-second because this is a speed run. Oh my, okay, there's a bug in this game where if you get hit on the exact same frame that you try to dash, you just dash do right or do left depending on the room. In this case, it's do right. She gave me the perfect pattern. I couldn't execute it because I got that bug, which is a bit frustrating. That said, that's still not a bad Archer fight. I legitimately thought I was in east for some reason. I was like, where's the pillar? Why can't I grab this? It's very late at night. It's been a very long day. I'm a bit sleepy. I swear I run this game, like every now and then. I forgot to show this off, but I was actually lied about Toad. Archer also has a like priest cutscene you can skip, and you might say that cutscene is really short. What do? Do you hit her? No. If you throw a grenade and kill the Dirk she shoots, rather than crashing the game, it just cancels the cutscene. Because I guess they coded it so that like when the cutscene what is it? When the cutscene ends when the Dirk dies. That's what I was trying to say. So like if you kill the Dirk early, it's like, I guess we're fighting now. It does make it a lot harder to get the fastest strat. Technically speaking, in the current boss rush world record, I do not do the Archer cutscene skip, but that's more because Archer, as I said, is an intensely random fight, and if you don't get the perfect pattern, which is like not good odds, then you're losing a bunch of time on her, right? You can actually get like a really nice swag, slide, interact, and then like it just can't. I didn't get it, so I'm gonna stop talking about how good it would have been if I gotten it. But yeah, so in boss rush, I don't have that because I just want to get Archer out of the way because it's such a trash fight. Because it's so random, and yeah. But it makes it even more random. I swear to God, that's a gap. I just don't feel like fighting at this time. So coming up here, we have Sky Factory. You know how I was talking about like the hardest 5 rooms in the game? This is the only one of the hardest 5 rooms in the game that's actually good, for the most part. It's actually, like, Frank, it's a really difficult fight. I'm going to go silent for the majority of it. Except if I have to point, there's a few points where it can soft lock, and I will point those out if they happen. By the way, check out my pathing here. Down, down, down. Then around here. Hey, skip half the room. Okay, so this is Sky Factory. We encounter Dirks. We encounter the Leaper guys. We encounter a bunch of collapsing floors, which we can lure enemies onto and kill them, but they don't always like to cooperate. In addition to the Leapers we encountered earlier, we encountered the hardest enemy in the game, the Omega Dirk. Right there we had an example of a soft lock. You have to just go all the way up and they'll just spawn. So I'm going to try to herd as much of these Dirks as I can into a single grenade. So our first Omega Dirk, 10 health. Oh, I was trying to give him a pattern where he'd fall to his death. More often than not, you can make him fall to his death, which just ends up being easier and borderline faster than doing it the old-fashioned way. By the way, you cannot, I swear to God, you can't make these leapers fall to their death. If they're starting a leap animation, they won't fall. Oh, I think, yeah, okay, I don't have to kill those last Dirks, I guess. They won't fall, they just stand on the thin air for whatever reason. So here we get what a lot of casual players believe to be the best weapon in the game. After a lot of testing, we actually do have a use for it in 99%, and I can't freaking wait to show that off. It has a range of the entire screen, does a whopping 7 damage, which is the most of any single attack in this entire game, even a shotgun blink, and is not worth mentioning at all because we have back-to-back the 2 hardest rooms in the game. In fact, you might call them garbage. Or I might. So this arena's not bad at all. We have a bunch of crystal spiders, not a big deal. Okay, spawn please. There we go. And we have this guy. And then we have a billion wolves, and a billion spiders, and they're all coming after us. It's like a horror movie, except with less movie and more horror. So we throw a grenade to break that open, get it as fast as possible, and then we're going to go around this way because a bunch of the wolves are up there and will eventually notice us and go for us there. And we made it out of one of them scot-free. I swear to God, that's actually one of the hardest rooms in the game. Up here, we have a nice little hidden key. You know, for all I know, maybe I miscounted bits, and we're actually good on bits, and I didn't forget anything. And this is a valid run that's totally still not going to get world records, so we don't care. Don't kill me. Okay. Again, hard knockdown, they can hit you. We're just throw a grenade because I can never remember which Dirk has it. And this arena is so hard that this tree doesn't exist, so we just walk around it. Some of the saves in this game are absolute trash. Going right doesn't work. Going left doesn't work. You have to go back toward the load zone in order to get the save. This is the hardest room in the game. I'm going silent for it. Get me out. Okay, mostly silent. We made it. Okay, so something you have to understand is this like pylon is freaking impossible to hit. Because remember how I mentioned there is aim bias? It wants to aim you toward enemies. So it's trying to aim you toward all those enemies around you and not toward that freaking pylon you're going for. In addition, the that bit I picked up is basically pixel perfect to pick that up without like getting exploded. If one of the crystal spiders is unlucky and walks over one of the crystal traps, the hitbox for those is larger than the like trigger hitbox. So you will get hit by that. That I cannot understate how impossible that is to get first try. Well, not impossible since I just did it, but I'm not trying to like stroke my own ego too much. I'm just ecstatic that I spent I'm not going to lie, I spent something like an hour in the practice room going over just that one room. And I'm very glad it paid off, even if some of the other fights are showing they needed more practice. I swear I was nailing those fights consistently in the practice room, though. Like, trust me, they were beautiful. You should have seen my practice run. It was like a 152. It was like 2 minutes off world record. I had like one bad death. And some of those were just forced deaths, so I could like practice something. It was such a good run. But it's not this run, and this is the run you're watching, so I'm just rambling at this point. So coming up, we have a dash that saves like half a second, and it's probably the hardest dash in the game because of all the bias. So if I can get it, okay. Nope, I didn't get it. Okay. By the way, I would like to point out, if you have a sec, go back, look at where my mouse is, look at where I dashed, and then tell me that dashes in this game don't have any bias. So we're almost done cleaning up the west area here. Oh yeah, wow. We, I think, do have less than 20 minutes left of the game, so we are going to finish under estimate, even with all the technical issues. This is a very hard category. My current PB, which is the world record, loses something like 5 minutes to just getting death chains on one area, and is pretty good other than that. This is a very hard category. Okay, Dirk, you don't need to follow me. You don't need to be the hero. No one wants the hero. Okay, up here we have... So if you remember that samurai room, the one before the warp in west, that I stated I really hate, when I first started running any % no major glitches, that was the one we went for instead of this one, which is like right in the middle of the path, so why not go for it? Because the samurai room one is the one that any % went for, and we were just like, we don't need to change the route much. They're probably about the same speed, because you can just get out of bounds and clip into there and clip out, and it's easy enough. Whereas that one is very hard. I'm actually going to throw a grenade here just to open up the chest for me and make it easier to dash. There's a bunch of stuff in the way, and easy. So coming up, we have the West 8 module door, which some of you, which is one of like maybe 3 rooms in the game that casual players point to as the hardest room in the game. I think most casual players I've talked to, I watch a bunch of this casually on Twitch because I genuinely enjoy it. Most of them will call this the hardest room in the game. I'm about to blow your minds. I really should not open my mouth given how this run has gone. But I will hopefully blow your minds first try. And if not, I will keep doing it until I blow your mind. Alright. So the first thing is there's this giant maze of these like exploding crystal guys, which, if they hit you, will almost certainly chain you into death. The first tip is down here they can't hit you, which helps conserve stamina. And we can just walk, and we're like Free as a bird. This one will sometimes hit you. Yeah. Which we're fine with. So we throw a grenade, dash in, phantom slash, hold into a charge slash, throw a grenade up, and boom. First try. I don't even know how many hours like working on strats for that, trying to find something that works, and it's beautiful. Oh, this is the wrong way. There's just like a random pocket down there. Oh, I am low on health, so please don't hit me. I'm not too worried. All right. So coming up, we have the North Cleanup. Waterfall Dungeon is a lot of fun, and one of my favorite places in the game. But remember how I said like top 5 hardest rooms in the game? We got another one of those coming up. And we also got, in my opinion, the worst designed room of the game. I'll go into more into that later when we get into it. That said, going back here, we're going through like the first initial route we took when we were heading up north without chain dash and all that stuff. It's so satisfying coming back here and just like blazing through this, and then like, oh, we get to the first Dirk fight. Oh no, what are we going to do? Throw a grenade? Why, yes. Okay, that was a hard fight. Oh, I was on shotgun. Okay, there we go. I would like to know what I bonked on there. This game, there's a cough skip you can skip there, or a cough you can skip there, but you have to do it twice. I missed it the first time through, so I can just dash through there. Here we get the blue cloak, which, by the way, through a odd quirk, is like you can come back in here and grab it multiple times. It won't add to anything, but they don't remove the trigger for it for whatever reason. So we hit this little switch over here to raise this platform. Fun fact, if you're really, really good, this is stupidly hard, you can actually deactivate the switch and make it black over the platform before it disappears and soft lock yourself. If you're looking for like hardest soft locks. This is the worst design room in the game because you have darkness, which, by the way, is not used anywhere else. I don't think that this is a game about exploration. Having this sort of like handicap to like figuring out where to go is, I don't think, good game design. But furthermore, they have, it's not particularly hard because there's very few actually punishing stuff. It's just throwing a bunch of spiders at you and like these dead bones, which is like, what is this in the lore? Almost no one ever mentions this room. But there's one thing coming up here, which is, I mean, there's not really another word for it. It's absolute bullshit. You cannot reasonably expect a first-time player to know they're supposed to go behind this block. Everyone I have ever seen, with like one or two exceptions, was pure dumb luck because they didn't realize it was a block there in the first place, will try to dash across that and then die. There's no way you can reasonably expect a first-time player to notice that. So coming up here, we're going to throw a grenade. Throw a grenade! Okay, there we go. Made it in the end. I figure if I just get more and more irate, the X button will eventually listen to me. So this is, coming up here, the second bird room. It's a part of a room we've seen before, but it's the second half. Sometimes this room is absolutely easy. Sometimes it's really awful, and it all depends on how the game runs. Because sometimes this room, for no reason, on whatever machine, can lag like absolute crazy. If it lags, it's really hard to do dashes, and the birds are not as affected by the lag, so they move faster while you're stuck moving slower. So far, so good, but the second half up here, when like there's a billion birds, I think we might... Oh, this is running beautifully. I need this computer. I'm going to... I hesitated to heal. That was... I flew too close to the sun. And like Icarus, or would they be Icarus in this? You know, it doesn't work when you're taken down by something with wings, when you don't have wings, and you're like, oh, poor Icarus, how could you do this to me? No, but this is so much easier than my computer at home. Oh my god. This room's almost fun. Yeah, like no lag whatsoever. This is running beautifully. Oh my gosh. Okay, easy bird room. Second try is something I will take 100%. Like, genuinely, even on world record attempts, I'm happy with a third try bird room. That is how just messed up it can be sometimes. And now we are done with most of the trash rooms in the game. Actually, maybe all of them, because we have Waterfall Dungeon. And this thing is one of my favorite places in the entire game. Not the least of which because we now have a strat that gets to use Railgun. Which, by the way, y'all are wrong. The North boss is Rifle, and the South reward is Railgun. North boss is not a Railgun. Check the game's code, check the wiki. Alright, now that I'm done shoving that in your mouth. Like, look at the aesthetics of this. Like, there's no, like, the teal color there isn't present anywhere else in the game. Even throughout East. It's so good. And, like, so much of this isn't even dealing with, like, a bunch of enemies. It's just having you get through it, completing, like, the tasks. Although this one does have some enemies. So I'm going to ask for grenades to come out. Hey, okay. In addition to killing off all of those, it breaks the box, which saves me time. So coming up here, we have to kill all the birds along here by the time we make it back. So I'm just going to try to take pot shots at them as we go along. Oh, I think I actually got them all. Oh, no, there's one up there still. Oh, no, I did get them all. Beautiful. Okay, I don't know what that dash was. Up there. This dungeon is also, while it has some of the hardest challenges, and is, I think, the longest of any of the 8 module doors, it actually feels like a dungeon. It's long, it's got, like, intricate stuff, it's got health packs along the way in case you're getting unhealthy. It's so good. It's just one of... Okay, fine, give me my ammo back. I want a refund. Okay, that was dumb. Okay, I actually don't need health packs anymore at this point, really, so I'm just going to go ahead and... pop that. Apologies for shutting up, I needed to concentrate. So coming up here, we have potentially the best hidden secret in the entire game. Any of you who say you found this without a strategy guide, or like looking up a map, are so lucky it defies belief. So you do this, and then you shoot this while behind the wall, and it lowers another wall on the other side, and you can walk through for this secret bit. Oh my, and there's like not something on the ground either. It's so well hidden. Okay, so coming up here, we have a lot of people. This is one of the other nominations for hardest fight in the game. I'm just going to go ahead and heal because we don't really need health packs at this point. This is also the only fight where we get to use Railgun, and I'll show you why in just a sec. When we get to it. So the first phase consists of just throwing a bunch of the random flying birds at you. There we go. And the second phase consists of these guys. If you kill them, oh shoot! I was trying to hit escape to show you guys, but I'm just going to pause to show this to you. The reason this fight is so hard is the second wave is super, super intense. If you clip that and watch closely, killing those early spawns the second wave before the floor, so they immediately fall to their deaths. It's the greatest strat in the entire game. Oh, I missed all of those. And the game is essentially done. There are no more challenges left. So I'm actually going to soft lock here on purpose, because sometimes this guy can knock you out. Oh, I don't think I got a warp. Okay, I can open my menu. I thought I got an actual soft lock where I have to exit the room completely, which would be impossible because the path back doesn't respawn. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go to just the final cleanup. The only fight left in the game is Judgment, which is the final boss, which, by the way, is such a sick name for the final boss. That said, my splits for this guy There was one casual streamer I saw who grabbed one of the names from, I don't know if you guys have played a game called Battle Block Theater, but all the heads in that game have a name to them. And you know how we see Judgment in a bunch of our visions? Oh, come on, game. He calls Judgment ruggedly handsome man from my dreams. And that is my name for Judgment now. So you may recall this place, the tutorial. We fought this way, way, way earlier in the game. We're now getting to go back to where we collapsed and past where we collapsed. This is actually a secret a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people do know about. It's not like some... there's a dash reset there. It should have stopped me, whatever. This is a secret not everyone knows about, but some people do. It's called the Monolith Room. This shows you the monoliths you have. Additionally, there is a absolutely ridiculously hard trick called Monolith Room Early. Oh, right, I'm an idiot. That was my fault. Not even going to try to blame the game. I would blame the game for that, though. And again, throw a grenade. But basically, you can use health packs to buffer through the cutscene and enter the Monolith Room early. Which, oh, by the way, I just did a nice dash collect while sliding there. But, like, it's so inconsistent, it feels like RNG, and we thought we were just, like, buffering our way through it. And I found a consistent setup for it that just basically involved lagging the game to all hell, and it worked. By the way, this is actually a different resolution than the rest of the game. This is the only remaining sprite from pre-alpha. We collected all the monoliths. Hell yeah. Which means we should have all the outfits at this point except for one, and the two we don't get. We have all the keys. I think we are missing... I think we're missing 2 bits. This is still a 98% run because math works out. So if, with my upgrade route, if we have all the bits, we should have that block completely full plus 1/4 of a bit. If you get every bit in the game, you are stuck with half of a full bit. It's basically when they first put out this game, you couldn't get all the items in the shop. There were not enough bits in the entire game to get all the items in the shop. So they added a bunch more. And now you have way more bits than you need to get all the items in the shop. Sorry, nose is so itchy right now. But the end result is like they didn't count it up quite right, and they just threw a bunch of bits at random like, hey, this would be cool. So the reason we have to come back here is this is a 16-key door, which is all the keys in the game. And you might be like, oh, wow, what's behind a 16-key door? Well, it's the fuchsia outfit, which I actually forgot what it did. Oh, okay, it's you get more ammo back when you hit stuff with your sword. I'm 99% certain that's it. But we get our last bit, which is 2 bits short of a valid run. We're still getting sub 2 hours. That's all I care about. No, not that warp. Not that warp. So for those of you who have fought Judgment casually, some of you might think he's an impossibly hard fight. Some of you might have realized, oh, you can actually like kill him before he does a lot of the attacks. If you guys have seen Fur's AGDQ run a year ago, which, by the way, amazing run. You should go check that out. It was so much fun. Additionally, Fur, FIR _ is one of the top Super Mario Odyssey runners and generally one of the most positive people I've ever met. Absolutely give him a follow. If you saw his run, you notice we use shotgun and shotgun resets in order to like kill him before he could do any of his attacks. But you might notice at the start of like each time he comes after darkness, he like slams the ground and there's like a large explosion. 99% does it so fast he doesn't even do that attack. I have to stop eating my dashes game. There we go. I have a tradition when I have a run on PB Ace to play a song called The Princess and the Frog by Jim Jones Review. Partially because like I feel like the lyrics are like almost appropriate, but more because the tempo is exactly what I need to do for shotgun flanking. So just like, it's really good for getting me in the mood. Ooh, since this run is nowhere near PB pace, I am going to show off my favorite glitch in the game. We now sit here for like solid 40 seconds. Because it makes this so slow for some reason as Drifter just slowly walks back. He's still not back yet, by the way. Wait, where am I? Okay, there we go. Alright, so we throw a grenade. This just has to do with health gating. Look at his health bar, by the way. Time will be coming up in about 50 seconds. Ish. I think 50 seconds from when I hit the ground. Time will happen as soon as you see the save icon in the lower right and Drifter sits down. If you haven't played this game, you basically had the entire game just spoiled for you. But it's still an absolutely brilliant game. It has the best, deepest combat I've ever encountered in any game, quite frankly. I mean, fighting games don't count, you know what I mean. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And the speedrun is absolutely amazing. If you're the main category, 80% no major glitches, the world record's like 34 minutes. Basically, every new runner will finish in under an hour. Most will get sub 50 the next run. Sub 40 is not too far off. Time will happen now. End time. Additionally, this game has an absolutely amazing soundtrack, and the best song in the game, I know I said Atlantis is the best song, but the best song in the game is playing right now. It's called Panacea. It's the credits, and I will leave you with that. Not sub 2 hours, but still second place, by the way. So these credits are something like 20 minutes long if you don't fast forward them, so we're going to fast forward them. I've got one boss rush strat I've been working on I would like to show off. I am unsure if I will get it, but I'll give myself like 3 or 4 tries.
You want me to time it?
No, it's got... See, the great thing about boss rush is it's got an in-game timer.
Oh, okay.
And the boss rush category runs by in-game time. By the way, I do have a tutorial for boss rush if you're interested in running this category for some reason. Quite frankly, I've put a lot of time into fully loaded. Menu, by the way. I can't do it on this keyboard, never mind. So I've been working on a death abuse for North boss. And let's see if I can get this first try. I messed it up. I accidentally killed him. Basically, the reason we want to do this is when you respawn, you'll be in a consistent... I can't do muscle memory on this keyboard. You'll be in a consistent spot when you respawn, so you can get a more consistent exit. In addition, you also skip the cutscene of him dying. Okay, this run's already dead. Okay, and I died. I'll get this eventually. No, not continue game. So I'm quitting out each time because the boss rush has an in-game timer, and I want to run by that. I wanted to see if I can get a 22. 22 is really, really good. The IL world record uses a slightly different strat, but is not ammo efficient at all. The other reason we want to kill ourselves is if we die, it would respawn with the ammo we started with, which basically means we can spend all the ammo we want. I was too far to the right. By the way, North Boss might look like completely random. He is 100% manipulatable. My bad hand's hurting too much to do menus fast, so you have to deal with these slow-ass menus. I'm going to get this once, I promise. There we go. And then it ate my second dash. Okay, so we do all that damage, and then when we do the charge slash, we're actually canceling the half the charge slash animation with getting hit by that, which saves a few frames. Yeah, I'm just gonna restart. I'm gonna get this once. I'm gonna go for like. Supposedly we have like 25 minutes. But I'm going to go for like 5 minutes. If I can't get it once, I'm going to throw in the towel. I would like to show you Toad with double shotgun, though. That's a fun glitch. I was too far to the left, but we might be able to... We're salvaging it. He dash biased me into him. I did not come here prepared for this. I wasn't expecting to have extra time. All right, 4 more attempts. Hey, got the menu. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, we are just clipping out of bounds here. Literally just hold left or right as these doors open. You'll clip out of bounds. It is patched in the Switch version, but it's like a shitty patch where like they literally just add an invisible wall there. Okay, so what happened there was it ate some of my shotguns when I was doing my initial salvo, and if you don't get enough damage on him, he will spawn across on top of you in addition to the tracker, and that will kill you. And all of his attacks are location based, health gate based, and what direction you're moving based. Notice what movement direction you are holding. If you are going like another direction, so I did not fall there. Remember what I said? If you are out of bounds for longer than a few seconds, the game will just kill you. Oh, I did not mean to trigger the fight there. There we go. So, like, if I am holding this way, I'm still going this way with a sword, even though I'm holding this way. So, this tracker's down here, even though I'm still moving back up toward him. There's a lot of stuff in Naked Boss Rush, especially that just deals with that. The bird missed me. Okay, well, so we're trying to get the bird to kill us while we fire a shotgun at him, but the bird missed me because he's an idiot. And sometimes their hitboxes just pass through you for no reason. Notice never when I actually want to not get hit during the run. Well, they pass through me, but when I want to get hit and die, ooh, no, I'm invulnerable. No, that was basically the strat, but I'm getting close enough I can taste it. Okay, that was my 5 tries. I'm going to give a perfect Toad 1 try, which, given how my menus have been on this keyboard, I don't think is going to work. And then I'm going to show you how to crash the game, and that will be my conclusion. Oh, wait, what am I doing? There we go, okay. So again, we are going to do 1, 2, 3, shoot, 1, 2, 3. It ate some of my shotguns, but that's what Toad looks like when you have multiple shotguns. By the way, the IL world record is a 15.9. That's a pretty darn good Toad, even with my mistake. All right, so now for a little bit of glitchiness. We're going to go into New Game Alt because we start with everything. What's a good name? Toby. That's not Toby, but we'll go with it. By the way, if you are figuring out how to skip the opening cutscene, just type /skip. It's not even a console command, just type /skip, which didn't work. /SKIP. Do I have caps lock? I have caps lock on. There we go. That's why. New Game Plus, you get this like sweet black cloak, which reduces your health to 2. You cannot take it off. They couldn't figure out how to program in 2 health, so they programmed in a cloak you can't take off. That was their solution. So first off, there's something called the Phantom Slash, which I used a bunch of times in the run. However, if you use it right along a ledge, it doesn't quite know what to do with you. And you can use it to clip out of bounds. So I'm going to show you how to get south early. Go on the other side of this tree. Aim about here. Nah, bit more to the right. Bit too far to the right. And into south early. And let's warp back and find a good spot to crash the game. Oh, I should probably ask first. Control-Alt-Delete will work on this computer, right? There are 2 crashes in the game that actually produce a crash message. The first one is get that random 1 in like 500 spider to pop out from a box in the room with the Mimic boss, then have it hit you while you are interacting with the fake module. It'll actually produce a crash message, which interestingly enough tells us that the fake module's name in the game's code is Alucard. Oddly enough. I'm actually going to go pretty deep into the east because I can show off a glitch or a crash depending on whether I get the glitch or not. Actually, let's go for a zip I actually know, which is the white cloak zip. These, I don't know if you're familiar with zips in like the context of like Mega Man and such. Exact same thing. Basically, it doesn't know where to put you. It finds a valid target behind you and throws you over there. So over here, I'm dead. New Game Plus is a very punishing category, by the way. So this is actually, I was not the one who suggested the possibility for this trick, but I was the first one to experiment with it and find it. This destroyed New Game Plus any percent. If you go about here, aim about here, fall into the drink, die, whatever. I'm going to go until I get this. Basically, you might notice this is right behind Toad. You can do the same sort of thing with South early into Toad. However, if you aim just a little bit too high, that was too high. There we go. The game is unable to resolve and doesn't know where to put you. This is a hard lock. The game will accept absolutely no inputs from you, including trying to close the game. You actually have to Control-Alt-Delete this shit. But we get this nice, like, texture of, like, the drifter finally drifting into light speed. And I think that is going to be my conclusion right there. Hyperlight Drifter has stopped working. It's no longer responding, sorry. I think that just about sums up the game as a whole. Thank you very much.